Narcissism and dismissive avoidant attachment style seem to have a lot in common. So what's up? Okay, so my name is Omar, and I want to start this video by saying that I'm not a licensed professional, that I'm not a therapist or a psychologist. I'm just someone who's passionate about psychology and have my opinions about it. And have a lot of personal experience with dismissive avoidance and narcissists. So as I started to learn about attachment styles, I actually learned about attachment styles, then I learned about narcissism. So when I started to learn about narcissism, I was like, hey, this really seems like something that's similar to dismissive avoidant attachment style. And I was like, hey, what's up? And I want to say, since there's like this since dismissive avoidance is categorized by lack of empathy and an exaggerated view of the person's self, narcissism also has this characteristics. Narcissism is also about lack of empathy and a big ego. That's like basically the gist of it. So are all avoidants narcissists and vice versa? Not necessarily. Okay, so narcissism is more like of a scale. It's like 0 to 100. The narcissistic personality disorder is like, let's say 60, 70 and up. Those are like really narcissistic people. And all of us exist on this spectrum. So I would say, like, hypothetically, normal people are around 10 to 20 on the narcissistic spectrum. The insecure attachment style of the dismissive avoidant is built upon the idea that the person did not receive the care they needed to receive. Thus, they started to view other people as less, as a way to cope, as a way to justify that others are just incapable of giving them what they truly need, as a way of justifying that they are still worthy of love. So they try to cope with being neglected, with being abused, with their needs not being met, by trying to overcompensate the lackluster image of their caretakers by their image of themselves, so they can feel like they have somewhere safe to go to, and that's their own self, and that is the ego. Dismissive avoidance form this ego that basically says, I am not in need of anyone. I create my own destiny. I don't need love. I don't need friendship. I don't need close relationships. I'm on my own all of the time. And that forces the person to have a bigger ego than the average person. So probably, I'm saying probably here because it's not fact, it's just my opinion, dismissive avoidance are more likely to be higher on the spectrum of narcissism. So if the normal person or the average person is around 10 to 20, the dismissive avoidant is probably like 30, 35-ish. Dismissive avoidants lack empathy, and narcissists lack empathy. So, and that's like one of the main characteristics of both of these dysfunctions. What's up again? I would say narcissists are by nature dismissive avoidance. They are evolved dismissive avoidance. Although they can show anxious behavior, like anxious attachment style behavior, in the effort of getting more and more empathy from others, but they are in heart dismissive avoidance because they don't care about others' emotions, they view others as less, and they view themselves as more. And they lack empathy, so they are really exaggerated and really intentional dismissive avoidance. That's to say, intentional here means it's in the context of narcissists have discovered that when they are treating other people as less and when they are love bombing people, a phase that also dismissive avoidance go through when they are in the beginning of a relationship with other people, narcissists have discovered or have realized that when they do that, they gain more attention. They gain more narcissistic fuel. And by realizing that, they acquire these personal traits, these characteristics, these tendencies that they have as tools, as actual tools to get them to what they need. So they hurt other people intentionally and with more of a lack of empathy, since they are recognizing that they do have these issues and they are overstepping it, but the dismissive avoidant is more oblivious to the fact that they are actually hurting others. The dismissive avoidant is actually probably like the average dismissive avoidant, the unhealed dismissive avoidant, the unaware dismissive avoidant is more likely to be like clueless about why are their relationships failing, why are their friendships failing, why are their family relationships failing, why are they losing people on a constant basis, why are people wanting more from them. They are actually clueless about their own dysfunction. But the narcissistic person is more clueful, or like they actually have a clue about who they are and what they are gains them, and they use that. So they're more intentional with their dysfunction. That's why narcissists are really hard to cure. Narcissism is really hard to cure because narcissists realize their own dysfunction and they are okay with it. Dismissive avoidance, although they have a form of narcissism, they're not aware. They're not aware of their own dysfunction. They're not aware of how they're hurting others. Thus, they are more likely to heal. They are more likely to progress and to evolve as a human. Now, can normal dismissive avoidance become narcissistic? Yes, because it's like a spectrum. They are like this like average person, dismissive avoidant, and then narcissistic personality disorder, or like narcissism in general. I personally have met narcissists, and by the way, I'm an empath and an anxious, actually now fearful person, fearful avoidant as of now. I have met narcissists and avoidants and have been in relationships and friendships with narcissists and avoidants. Okay, so I had two ex-best friends, let's say, or like ex-friends. One of them was narcissistic and the other was avoidant. So dismissive avoidance. So the narcissistic was actually really hurtful and really intentional and really lacked any empathy whatsoever to what he was doing to me. And even though I would say, hey, I'm hurt, hey, I'm hurt, hey, I'm hurt, he would never apologize and never show a drop of empathy. The dismissive avoidant would actually say, hey, I don't know why I'm acting this way, I don't know why I behave this way, I'm just this way and I can't change for you. You go solve your own problem. So my dismissive avoidant would actually realize that, hey, something's not right on my side. It's not my job to fix you. So that there's their lack of empathy. But they have enough of empathy to actually recognize that, hey, I have my own dysfunction as well. And hey, I have my issues. So they have this they are more of a really humble narcissist, the dismissive avoidant. And I would say they are more curable and likely to heal. I truly want to say that please don't take this as, hey, all avoidants are narcissists, because they're not. And yeah, those are my 2 cents on the subject. If you'd like to see more of these videos, please subscribe and like and share it with someone who would be actually interested in this topic. Yeah, see ya.